Hi, welcome to our step-by-step session with beading2go. We are going to start with this beautiful bridal choker that I created, which was my honor to do so. And it's very simple but elegant. We will need clear wire. We will need 20 inches of clear wire times 3. We'll need 3 of those. We will also need sterling silver, 2.5 crimp beads, about 6 of those. We'll also need 3.0 millimeters of sterling silver crimp beads. We'll also need a clasp, something really nice and elegant because it's for a wedding. So you want to have a nice clasp. There's several different varieties to choose from. I chose something a little fancy since it's for a formal, someone's getting married. So I chose that. And then we also need a spacer. That's what I call a spacer bar. And I'm going to need 2 of those, and they're going to have 3 holes. They're 3-hole spacer bars. Let's see what else. Oh, most importantly, we need the beads. We will need some rounded, medium size, smooth pearls. We'll need about 85 of those. We'll also need some Austrian crystals, faceted crystals, and we'll need about 90 of those. We will also need some sheen irregular pearls, smaller pearls, So we'll also need that as well. So with those materials in mind and everything I mentioned earlier, that is all we need. A pair of scissors and a crimper, and we're good to go. So I like to do that too. Let me see here. Okay, so by looking at it, I have 1 pearl there, 3 in my hand, another thing. I'll slowly put it down, and it's coming along very nicely. A little bit of an easier way to get your pearls a little bit to lay the way you want them to. So see, now you have the bigger ones kind of poking out a little bit more to get that effect. See? So now all you want to do is put on your ends. I'm really happy. Okay, now let's see. This is the way it's going to lay. So it's very important that you make sure you load everything up the way it's supposed to lay. Okay, so there's 1. Okay, and then we'll get the middle. We're loaded on to number 2, the middle one here. And this strand's still a little shorter, but we'll try and load that up first. One of the first ones we do when we get to the toggle. So now I'm simply holding it tight and pulling on it. You also want to pull on these and make sure that there's no loose ends throughout the necklace. And then you want to load this one on number 3. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Feel free at this point to get it as snug to the spacer as possible. And make sure, just take a real quick look, see how everything is laying and looking. If this is the way you like it, go ahead and proceed with putting on the crimp bead. Now I will trim a little bit more off because I don't need this much, like right there. I need to pay attention to the smaller one here because this one doesn't have the string isn't as long, so I want to make sure I get every single piece in there. I'll snip a little bit more off. Now we proceed with the larger crimp bead, loading all 3 of these on next. there's that smaller one. So we want to make sure we keep everything pulled tight. Get the smaller string in there as well. Okay, so everything's pulled tightly. Now you have to load this other end here of the toggle. Still ensuring that the string's pulled on tightly. And then we want to restring. Wrap it around this toggle here, and then we want to restring it through this. Excuse me. Get the smaller one in first. I want to try and get it in back through the crimp bead. There's one. Okay. Okay, so we have them in. Now we just want to pull on it a little bit. You want to leave a little bit of slack when you're using this end of the toggle. Not too much, just a little bit. So now I want to check my pearls. Is everything tight? This part here looks kind of loose. I don't know if you can see it or not. So what I like to do is check my work, go back. If this string on this side's loose, if the pearls are coming loose, you simply have to pull on the string and it should bring it back up. So sometimes I'll use a tool. Just be real gentle. Be firm, but be gentle. I'm not right-handed, so. Okay. There you go. Now, we can press, not too tight, but tight. Don't want to break the string off. And be very, very careful in this part when you're trimming that you don't cut your necklace, your choker, excuse me. Okay, now you have a beautiful bridal choker. And you're ready